Shut up. You're supposed to listen to what I say, Tom shouted as he suddenly slapped me across the face. What? Go cool off outside and don't bother coming back, I retorted, my voice shaking. It was the first time a man had ever hit me. Shock and disbelief froze me in place, and it took a few moments for the pain and fear to set in. I can't take this anymore. I've decided to leave this house and get a divorce. I had been preparing for this day. My name is Jennifer, just an average working wife. 3 years into marriage, this month was looking good, I muttered as I checked my bank account. Ever since I was single, I had a passion for saving money. Growing up in a not-so-rich family, I was used to living frugally. Thanks to that, even as an adult, living modestly was never a problem. Always spending carefully and saving as much as I could, I invested those savings into mutual funds and stocks. With a major in business administration, I was quite familiar with economics and how money works. I started investing in college, and so far, it had been smooth sailing. I always dreamed of buying a house where my entire family could live happily. I was close to reaching that goal. I met Tom at the company where we both worked. He was kind, reasonably good-looking, and popular among the female employees. We hit it off while working together, and our relationship progressed smoothly from dating to marriage. We didn't have any kids yet, but 3 years into our marriage and considering my age, I was starting to want children. However, with both of us working, our schedules hardly aligned. Tom wasn't interested in trying to have a baby. Every time I tried to discuss it, he changed the subject. I considered quitting my job to focus on our relationship, but if Tom didn't cooperate, I could have just quit. The reason Tom's not interested in having a kid is that our current lifestyle suits him just fine. Though we work at the same company, our departments differ. Tom's department doesn't require overtime, but the pay is the lowest in the company. My department is crucial for the company, so while there's a lot of overtime, the pay is higher. Tom gets home on time and lazes around playing video games until I get back. If we have a kid, he won't be able to keep doing that. That's why he's not enthusiastic about starting a family. For now, my focus is on building a home for a potential growing family. That's why I keep saving. I believe that once a child is born, Tom will surely help out. Another thing that bothers me is my mother-in-law. She lives just a 5-minute walk away from our apartment. Right after we got married, my father-in-law's health deteriorated. We were told he might need care, so we moved closer, but he passed away shortly after due to old age. Ever since then, my mother-in-law has been coming to our house almost every day. It would be fine if she just came by, but she always has something sarcastic to say. "I'm home. You're late, aren't you?" she mumbles without making eye contact. "Good evening. Do you always get home this late? Are you really working?" I wonder if she's going to make sarcastic comments again today. I'm exhausted from work and I just want to relax at home. But thanks to my mother-in-law's sarcasm, my home has become a place where I can't feel at ease. "So, what are you planning to do for Tom's dinner since you're getting home at this hour?" It's always like this. She only worries about Tom, who probably just lounges around after leaving work on time, and she blames me. I'll start preparing it now. You're going to start making it now? What time do you think it is? While I'm being persistently blamed, Tom continues playing his video game. Where did the kind Tom go? Or is this his true self? In any case, why do I have to prepare meals for a fully grown adult who is not a child? We both work, so if Tom would do the housework when he gets home early, my burden would be significantly lighter. Such thoughts bubble up in my head. My mother-in-law has never worked and is a housewife. She has no intention of understanding the feelings of working women from the start. Besides, if she saw Tom doing housework, she would definitely start helping. Then I would get sarcastic comments from her again. Well, there's no way Tom is going to do the housework, so this worry is unnecessary. "Hey, Jennifer, are you listening?" "Ah, sorry, I'll start preparing the meal right away." In the end, it seems more peaceful for me to just handle everything alone, even amidst criticism. "That's all right, I've prepared everything and already fed Tom." "Oh, I see, thank you. Of course, there's nothing prepared for me. I'll just fix my own meal, as usual." Sadly, this routine has become so common that I've grown accustomed to it. As I'm in the kitchen preparing dinner, I'd overhear this conversation. "Hey, Tom, I have a dinner party with my friends coming up. It's at that new French restaurant, so the membership fee is around $200. Could you cover it for me?" "Yeah. And I want to get some new clothes and go to the salon, so could you give me an additional $500? "Okay, got it," Tom responds easily without taking his eyes off his game. $500 for a meal with friends? What kind of sense of money does she have? Then, without asking, Tom rummages through my purse, takes out $500, and hands it to his mother. Thanks, Tom. You're a lifesaver. She thanks only Tom and puts the money in her wallet. I'm stunned. What have these people just done? Can they not see me? When my mother-in-law goes to the bathroom, I confront Tom. Why are you taking money out of my wallet? I had no choice. I didn't have any cash on me. That doesn't mean you can just take cash out of someone else's wallet. And my mother-in-law, who accepts the money, is just as bad. If you couldn't give her the money yourself, you should have said no. We don't have that kind of money to spare. Tom and I are arguing when my mother-in-law comes back. What happened? Is something wrong? My mother-in-law asks, concern in her voice, but before I can respond, Tom cuts in. Nothing's wrong. Nothing at all, he says quickly, avoiding eye contact with me. Doesn't Tom understand how difficult it is to pull $500 out of our budget? I handle our finances since my income is higher. I pay for everything from rent to living expenses from my account. Tom doesn't contribute his salary. He spends it all on games, gambling, and entertainment. I've asked him to contribute to the household expenses, but he always dodges the issue. Just last month, I know he gave his mother $500 because she wanted to buy clothes and a bag. The month before that, it was for a kimono, cosmetics, salon treatments, and spa expenses. He's been giving her $500 every month. As I'm stewing over these thoughts, my mother-in-law says, I heard there seemed to be a dispute about money, so I came by. Don't make a fuss just because I'm offering some pocket money. Taking care of your parents is a good deed. You'd want to do the same when your parents get older, right? My mother-in-law seems unfazed. The whole family has a distorted view of money. No matter how much we save, it all ends up being spent on my mother-in-law's extravagant expenses. Today, I muster up all my courage and speak up to her. We really don't have extra money. Supporting you with $500 every month is really hard for us. Upon hearing this, my mother-in-law lets out a deep sigh. This money is for socializing expenses. Buying new clothes and dining out with friends is important for socializing, isn't it? If it's just chatting with neighbors, isn't a coffee shop good enough? Why does it always have to be a fancy restaurant or an expensive inn? She's always updating her wardrobe for every occasion and footing everyone's bill. It's excessive, and not everyone even likes her. In fact, she's just being taken advantage of. You hardly engage with the neighbors. I'm doing all this networking for you. She's the one choosing to do all this. I didn't ask her to. Being stingy with socializing expenses is just being miserly. You're not skimping on Tom's socializing budget too, are you? Jennifer is quite a penny pincher, you know. I always have a hard time because she limits drinking and gambling expenses. Tom's drinking parties and gambling aren't social expenses. They're purely for entertainment. Being stingy about spending money on socializing won't help Tom get promoted. Jennifer, you really need to review your household budget. Tom and his mother-in-law say whatever they please. Today was just dreadful again. Maybe she felt relieved after taking the money and saying what she wanted. But as she heads to the exit, she glares at me again. If you want to get divorced, Tom, I think it's fine anytime. Your room is still there just as you left it. You can come back anytime. All right, thanks, Mom, Tom replied curtly, closing the door behind her with a heavy swing. What was all that just now? When I turned around, Tom had already immersed himself back into his video game. I was seething with anger as I confronted him. Why did you keep giving her $500 every month? And where is that money even coming from? Tom continued playing, seemingly oblivious to my words. Frustrated, I stood in front of the TV and demanded, are you even listening? I'm asking you what you're thinking. With an annoyed expression, Tom finally responded, what's the big deal? It's just $500. Stop being so stingy. Do you have any idea how hard it is to take $500 out of our household budget? But Mom said it's for social expenses, so it's necessary, Tom argued casually. That's not necessary at all. Why does it cost $500 just to socialize with neighbors? And why does she always foot the bill? This is absurd. No matter how passionately I argued, Tom remained indifferent. Whether he found it bothersome or just wanted to return to his game, he made no effort to understand my perspective. Also, are you considering getting divorced? If you're going to be that dismissive, I have my own thoughts on the matter. Tom didn't deny it. He was actually considering divorce. Can you just move? I want to play my game. he said, brushing me aside with a gesture and returning to his game. Maybe it's hopeless. Perhaps divorce is the best option, but I can't bring myself to make that decision, remembering the time when I was too young. Then something happened. On my way home from work, I stopped by the local supermarket. I usually pay with cash, but today I didn't have money, so I used my credit card. That's when the cashier gave me an awful look. Man, it seems like this card could be used. Huh? Why is that? It seems you've reached your limit. A sinking feeling hit me. I rushed home. Tom, are you here? There was no response. Then I noticed Tom's bag on the floor and papers scattered around. What's this? I picked up the papers and found bills from numerous credit cards. These were family cards linked to my account. Tom has always struggled with managing money, often maxing out his credit cards. That's why his personal cards were maxed out, leaving him with only this family card. I quickly scanned the bills and saw a list of unfamiliar items: clothes, bags, shoes, high-end sushi, French cuisine. All luxury purchases. The total amount for all the bills was a staggering $50,000. I stood there in shock, counting the zeros to be sure there was no mistake. And then Tom and his mother arrived. What's this about the credit card being charged $50,000? Did you use this? Yeah, I used it. What do you mean by that? Mom asked me to go shopping with her and eat out. Why did you use this card? My personal cards were maxed out. It can't be helped. Besides, this is just taking care of family. This money is coming out of my account, my personal account. We're married, so it's not just your account, right? I collapsed on the spot, my knees buckling beneath me. All the money I had diligently saved was spent so carelessly. Jennifer, you can't talk about my money when it's our shared finances as a married couple, my mother-in-law interjected, showing no remorse. Jennifer, you claim you can't give me money even though you have it. How greedy can you be? Tom's lack of remorse fueled my rage. All the pent-up frustration and hurt erupted at once. Don't play games with me. This is the savings I worked hard for even before we got married. Give it back to me. Hey, what are you talking about? What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. That's marriage, right? That's right. Instead of you showing gratitude to my parents, I'm doing it for you. You should be thanking me. And to think he's been getting $500 a month for pocket money, and now this secret credit card use behind my back. This includes money I saved before marriage. Using it without asking is nothing short of theft. Give it back to me. Hey, cut it out. Who are you calling a thief? Tom retorted angrily at being labeled a thief. This credit card is a family card. I can use it however I want since I'm part of the family. That's right, Tom has been doing a lot for me. Besides, you didn't notice the $50,000 bill until now, right? So there's no issue, my mother-in-law chimed in. The account linked to the credit card wasn't one I checked regularly, so I didn't notice right away. But that doesn't make this situation acceptable in any way. That's not the point. Give me back my money. My anger overflowed, tears streaming down my face as I pleaded with him. Shh, you're my wife, so you should just listen to what I say. You should be grateful I even married someone like you. With those words, Tom suddenly slapped me across the face. What? Go cool off outside and don't come back. It was the first time a man had ever hit me, and I was in shock. I stood there, unable to move, stunned by what had just happened. A few moments later, the pain and fear hit me. I couldn't take it anymore. That night, I resolved to divorce him and leave this house. I spent the night planning my next steps meticulously and went to bed. The next morning, Tom casually placed a single sheet of paper in front of me. It was a divorce form, and Tom's section was already filled out. What? From now on, if you complain about me, we're getting divorced? If you don't want to divorce, then don't talk back to me. I'll handle the money from now on. With that, Tom grabbed the bank book and left for work. I couldn't believe how easily I had obtained the divorce form, something I thought would be the hardest part. Does he really think I still want to be with him after everything that's happened? Does he believe the word divorce scares me? I realized then that Tom's perception was skewed. But for me, this was a perfect opportunity. I gladly accepted the divorce form. My feelings for Tom had vanished completely. And then there was my financial security, the investment trusts and stocks I had managed since before we were married. With no major losses and everything going smoothly, I had reached a point where I could live off the returns alone. Through diligent saving and investment, I had accumulated around $500,000, tucked away in various accounts that Tom knew nothing about. I had spread the funds across multiple banks as a precaution against keeping such a large sum in one place. The bank book Tom took was just one of many. I completed my section of the divorce form, swiftly packed my bags, and left the house. I headed straight to the office and submitted the divorce form without hesitation. For the time being, I sought refuge at my parents' house. They were surprised to see me arrive with so much luggage, but they listened as I explained everything. While enjoying a peaceful stay at my parents' house, I began browsing real estate listings. Commuting from my parents' place was impractical, so I needed to find a new home soon. While scrolling on my smartphone, I stumbled upon an intriguing listing. A newly constructed house near the station, a perfect 15-minute walk from my workplace. I wasted no time and visited the real estate agency to inquire. The house was still under construction with interior work yet to begin, offering flexibility for customization. The location was ideal, and there was significant interest from potential buyers. Without hesitation, I decided to purchase the house and completed the payment that very day. I stayed at my parents' house while preparing for the move, and everything went smoothly. Hey, Jennifer, one day out of the blue, my ex-husband spoke to me at the office. I had been so caught up in the excitement of planning our new home that I had completely forgotten about him. Where the hell are you? Why aren't you answering your phone? I had received dozens, if not hundreds, of calls from Tom, but I had been ignoring them all along. And what about the divorce papers? I couldn't believe it and checked with the office, and they told me it's already been submitted. What the hell is going on? What do you mean, what's going on? You're the one who handed me those divorce papers. I simply did as you instructed. Don't play games with me. There's no way they would accept divorce papers submitted without your consent. Tom had personally handed me the divorce papers. How could he be so selfish? A divorce application submitted without my agreement won't be accepted. If I sue, you'll be charged with forgery. Serves you right. But Tom, you gave these to me. Your section is filled out by you, I explained patiently. Despite my explanation, Tom refused to listen. I won't accept it, he yelled, his voice resonating through the office. Employees passing by turned to see what the commotion was about. The divorce is already finalized. I've informed the company as well. You should do the same with your boss, I asserted, trying to distance myself from Tom. He grabbed my arm tightly. I won't accept it, you hear me? I won't let you have it your way. You can't escape from me, he said in a low voice, then left. My new home was a sanctuary. Every corner filled with my favorite room, furniture, and appliances brought a peace I hadn't felt in years of dreading going home. As I savored this newfound tranquility, the doorbell rang. Checking the monitor, I found no one there. Who is it? I called out. No answer. Suspicious, I scanned the area from my balcony, but saw no one. The following day, with the company closed, I eagerly began my morning routine, looking forward to cleaning my house. Suddenly, there was a loud knock on the door. Curious, I stepped outside to find my former mother-in-law standing there. What do you want? I asked bluntly. It's not about what I want. What were you thinking, moving out without discussing it with the family? She scolded. Huh? Didn't Tom inform his mom about our divorce? How did she even find out my new address? Then it struck me. Last night's mysterious doorbell ring must have been Tom tracing me. Didn't Tom tell you? We're divorced, I informed her firmly. This is just a lover's quarrel. Withdraw the divorce immediately, she insisted. If you don't withdraw it, I'll sue you for forgery, Tom interjected unexpectedly, still hurling accusations. Why would I do that? You're the one who initiated it, right? I was losing my patience. While Tom and I debated, his mother had let herself into my house and was casually surveying the rooms. Well, this is quite a spacious house. Is it a duplex? With this much room, maybe I could move in, she mused aloud. Hey, you can't just come in without permission, I protested. Oh dear, listen to you accusing your elder of theft, she retorted, unfazed. Tom and his mother seemed to say whatever they please. Keeping my composure, I responded calmly. The divorce is finalized. The papers clearly show you initiated it, Tom. If you're serious about suing for forgery, we can settle it in court with lawyers, I proposed firmly. Lawyers? Court? Her tone shifted, finally grasping the gravity of the situation. She looked unsettled, then asserted, well, if you're divorcing, this house belongs to Tom, right? He and I will live here. I was taken aback. It was clear she had no understanding of Tom's financial situation. His low income and maxed out credit cards meant owning a house was out of the question. This house is in my name. I purchased it with my savings, I clarified. What do you mean? How did you afford a house? Tom interjected, finally reacting. I explained that it was purchased with money I had earned from investments. Realizing it wasn't in Tom's name, his mother became furious. What's going on here? What are we supposed to do now? She demanded, clearly panicked. Her urgency stemmed from having sold their previous home upon hearing about the new house from Tom. I was surprised by her audacity to sell their home without discussing it with me, though I wouldn't have agreed to live together anyway. Fine, let's settle this in court. I'll ensure the divorce is withdrawn. I won't accept this divorce, she declared, storming off with Tom. Even if they did take it to court, the divorce papers clearly showed Tom's consent, and does he even have the money for a lawyer? I doubted it. If I were sued, I'd deal with it then. Afterward, I continued to live peacefully in my home. Time passed without incident, and I thought the matter was resolved. However, Tom began showing up repeatedly, asking to reconcile. Jennifer, I'm sorry for everything. Let's start over, he pleaded. I couldn't believe it. After everything he had put me through, I ignored his calls and visits, unsure when his temper might flare up, but his persistence escalated. Hey, stop ignoring me. I'll break this window if you don't come out right now, he threatened. It was becoming increasingly like harassment. He began stalking me at work, incessantly calling and making it difficult for me to focus. Sometimes, he waited for me at the exit of my workplace or near my home. Feeling scared, I started commuting with a friend and sought help from my boss. When it started affecting my daily life, I decided to involve the police. Following that, the police began patrolling around my home twice daily. During one of these patrols, they caught my ex-husband yelling outside my new house, and he was arrested on the spot. He was found guilty of stalking, harassment, and making threats, leading to his arrest. Additionally, he lost his job and is likely serving time in prison now. News of my ex-mother-in-law's son's arrest for threats spread quickly in the neighborhood. She, who used to be social and well-known among the neighbors, couldn't even leave her house anymore and eventually moved far away. It's rumored she now lives alone in a small old wooden apartment, as she no longer has her own house to return to. Finally free from all of this, I immediately contacted my parents. They had supported me when I moved back to the countryside, so I invited them to come live with me in my new house, and they happily agreed. Though we're not wealthy, they raised me with love, and now I have the chance to care for them in return, which brings me immense joy. Next, I plan to invite my friends over for a barbecue or host drinks at my place. I've lived much of my life thinking I had to endure things, but from now on, I want to prioritize self-care and cherish every day.